A young woman vanishes from her home, leaving behind her phone, her purse, and her beloved dog. No witnesses, no clear motive. And the only clue? A smear of blood from a man no one can name. In a city built on secrets, someone thought they could make Theresa Insana disappear forever. They were almost right. But the desert doesn't forget. And neither do we. Theresa Elizabeth Insana was born on January 20th, 1978, in Niagara Falls, New York. She was the kind of girl everyone noticed, smart, vibrant, always leading the charge. She graduated top 10 in her class at Niagara Falls High School, a proud member of the Honor Society, Key Club, Ski Club, and the varsity cheerleading team. Her future was wide open. At SUNY Binghamton, she majored in psychology, became a sister in Delta Phi Upsilon, and continued cheerleading. She was determined to make something of herself, and in 2000, she packed up her dreams and moved to Las Vegas, chasing opportunity like so many before her. Theresa quickly found work in retail, but ambition pushed her higher. She landed a job at Harrah's Casino as a sales rep, then climbed to a position at the Rio Hotel and Casino. Life seemed to be falling into place. It was at the Rio where she met Jeff Fenton, a market analyst. Their romance moved fast. Within 3 months, they were engaged and living together, planning a big wedding for April 2004. But then, just 5 weeks before the wedding, it all unraveled. At first, it was said that Jeff had called things off. But over time, hints emerged that it might have been Theresa's choice. Something Jeff had done may have shattered her trust. Friends said Theresa changed after the breakup. She felt watched. Small things around her home seemed out of place. TVs turned on by themselves, DVD players blinking. Her instincts told her something wasn't right. Only 3 people had access to her house: Theresa herself, her best friend, and Jeff. And Jeff's new girlfriend, a co-worker at the Rio, had made it clear she wanted Theresa out of the picture. October 26, 2004, was supposed to be a normal day. Theresa left work early to vote. She spoke to a friend around 5:30 p.m., then called her mother at 5:45. She sounded tired and said she was planning to eat and head to bed early. She hung up around 6:30 p.m. That was the last anyone ever heard from her. By 7:30 p.m., when a friend tried calling, Theresa didn't answer. The next morning, co-workers grew worried. Theresa, who was never late, didn't show up for work. A co-worker drove to her house but found it silent. No barking from Frankie, her little dog. No lights, no movement. By October 28th, friends were desperate. Jeff, a male friend, and Theresa's best friend forced open the sliding door to her backyard. Inside, everything seemed strangely normal. Except for the fact that Theresa was missing. Her purse, phone, and keys were untouched. Frankie was still there, unharmed but scared. They called 911. A few days later, on November 1st, construction workers in a remote desert culvert made a horrifying discovery. Wrapped tightly in blankets and towels, bound with woven rope and duct tape, beaten so severely she was almost unrecognizable, they found Theresa's body. The autopsy revealed the brutality of her final hours. Theresa had suffered ligature strangulation and blunt force trauma. Both lungs were collapsed. Her face showed massive injuries. There were carpet burns on her body and signs of sexual assault. Whoever did this had made it personal. Inside her home, investigators found disturbing clues. Her own car had been used to move her body. The driver's seat was shoved far back, as if a much taller man had driven it. The trunk was smeared with mud and blood. The garage light bulb had been unscrewed, likely to conceal the crime. Glove prints from gardening gloves were lifted from multiple surfaces: the sliding door, the garage door, trash bags. In the downstairs bathroom, 2 blood spots were found, blood that didn't match Theresa's. It belonged to an unknown man. Police submitted the DNA to CODIS, the National Criminal Database. No matches were found. Whoever killed Theresa had no criminal record on file, or had never been caught before. Suspicion quickly turned to the people closest to her. Jeff and his new girlfriend were interviewed. Both showed inconsistencies when taking polygraph tests, especially when asked whether they knew Theresa was dead before her body was found. But when pressed, they had an alibi. They claimed to have been out car shopping during the critical hours. Yet investigators struggled to find paperwork, receipts, or even a clear confirmation that any dealership could vouch for their presence. It was a shaky alibi, but it wasn't enough to make an arrest. Over the years, police followed every lead they could. Theresa's DNA case remained open. In 2017, a new technology gave fresh hope. Using the blood sample, Parabon Nanolabs created a DNA composite sketch of the suspect. It showed a man of mixed Southeast Asian, European, and African descent, possibly Filipino, around the age of 25 to 35 at the time. For the first time, Theresa's killer had a face, but still, no name. As investigators dug deeper, chilling patterns began to emerge. Theresa's murder was not the only unsolved case in Las Vegas involving young women strangled and dumped in remote locations. Between 1993 and 2004, at least 6 other women were killed under similar circumstances. Police quietly wondered if a serial predator was operating in the shadows of the city, hiding behind the neon lights. There were so many unanswered questions. If Jeff and his girlfriend were out car shopping, why couldn't they produce a receipt, a signed test drive agreement, or a sales inquiry? Jeff once had a key to Theresa's house. Why didn't he have one that night? Who unscrewed the garage light bulb? A deliberate move to avoid being seen? Who wore gardening gloves to hide fingerprints? How did the killer know about the obscure construction culvert, a location invisible from the road? Was it someone Theresa trusted? Someone she let inside without a fight? Or was it a stranger, lurking in her life without her even knowing? Today, Theresa's family and friends still hold out hope. They keep telling her story, refusing to let her memory fade. Theresa Insana was only 26 years old. Her life was filled with promise, dreams, and so much love to give. Her story didn't end with her death. It continues with every person who refuses to forget her, every person who still demands